Welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to awaken your divine soul and open your human heart. Sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh and learn. Here's Sara.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. So glad to have you guys here as we make our way into May 2018. And today we're going to be talking about when will we become conscious in this lifetime. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about how we can live in flow. We've got sort of two subjects. We're going to try and get them both in. When will we become conscious in this lifetime? And I like to put this in because a lot of times I'll come across folks and they'll be like, I sure hope this is my last time around on this karma wheel. I think I've made it through. I think this is going to be my last time. And, you know, I don't know about you, but when I look at my own self, man, I got a lot of rounds on the wheel left to go to work through my particular stuff. And so I just like to look at this idea of consciousness and kind of what the end game is, and consciousness and what that looks and feels like and how that affects us in our regular life. You know, do we have a non-satisfactory life if we're not living consciously? And, you know, maybe if you're well versed in New Age, you might be like, well, of course you can't be satisfied unless you're conscious. That's probably the bigger answer. But the other answer is a lot of people aren't conscious at all. And, you know, they're pretty happy with their lives, or they're pretty satisfied. So how does that work? How does that work around that? So we're going to look at that idea of when will we become conscious in this lifetime? Why is it important, or is it important? And we're just going to kind of look at sort of some language there and see what that has to tell us today. Today is, of course, Free Readings Tuesday, and that means you can call in for a free reading, 888-298-5569. The lines are open, 888-298-5569. And go ahead and call in for your Free Readings Tuesday. We do free readings every show. That's kind of my gift or my offering to you. And also, I just love the way that we create spiritual community, because almost always on the show, what one person calls in with starts a discussion, and then someone else has their question, and that adds to the discussion. And before you know it, we're all sort of answering everyone's questions, whether you're the caller or you're me or you're listening now or you're listening later. We have this commonality in our understanding because, of course, we're all one soul. Every single person listening to this show right now is in spiritual communion with every other soul listening. It's not random if you've tuned in on purpose, or if you're in your car listening, like, what is this weird show? And, there's no random. So this idea that we're connecting through the airways is a very, very important one, really something to pay attention to. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping before we start. So the big news is, well, the two big newses are, first, I'm going to be in Seattle at East West Bookshop out in Roosevelt area on May 18th and 19th. That's not this weekend, but the weekend after. I do not travel very much. I'm doing this as part of my book tour for my new book, Messages from the Divine. And so Friday, May 18th, I'm going to do a free lecture and mini concert with Dr. Steve. And then on Saturday, the 19th, I'm going to do an intuition workshop I love East West Bookshop. I have been there many times before over the years. I haven't been to the new location yet, but I'm excited to see what that's like. Anyway, if you'd like to go, you'd like to meet me in person, either at the free event or at the free lecture mini concert or at the workshop, you do need to reserve your spot. That's one thing. You need to reserve your spot. Go to East West Bookshop, just Google it online, or you can go to my website, sarawiseman.com, go to the events page. Either way, there's links there, but make sure you do save your spot because that is what they like to have people do. The next thing, of course, is, wow, we are going crazy with registrations for the free 11-week online course that's the companion to my new book, Messages from the Divine. And I'm getting some emails, hey, I bought the book already, but I don't know how to sign up for the course. Or I signed up for the course, but I don't know where to get the book. So go to the website, sarawiseman.com. Right there on the front page is going to be a link that's going to show you here's where you get the book and here's how you sign up for that course. If you're confused, just email me and I'll straighten you out, or my assistant Luna will straighten you out. We'll get it together, but I would love for everyone, we're going to start that pretty soon. It's so much more fun if we all start together. It's going to be a rollicking good time, and very excited to have that going forward. Alrighty, let's go into our meditation. We're going to just do that a little bit before we go to the phones. Go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I want you to just imagine, and I don't plan these meditations, I just allow the universe to sort of pop in whatever visuals or whatever information we need to look at. And I want you to imagine that you're just standing on a vista of some kind. There's a big cloud in front of you. Down below you, you're over a valley, but you can't see much of anything. There's this giant misty cloud. It's just covering everything. Everything is thickly veiled by this cloud. And maybe you're feeling a little frustrated because you know that what's underneath that cloud is exactly what you need to know in your life right now. But the cloud's there. You can see the cloud. You can practically feel the cloud. The cloud's just stuck in your way. And you're kind of sitting up there on this vista, sort of fuming away, like, why is this cloud blocking my path? Blocking me from seeing or understanding. Why is this cloud there? And then I want you to just begin to, on this vista, in your mind's eye, just begin to become very aware of everything. You're going to feel the ground under your feet sort of as this steady, almost like the heartbeat of the earth. And you're going to feel the air on your skin start to sort of tingle and have that coolness on your skin. And you're going to feel the wind around you kind of pick up. The breeze starts to pick up. And you're going to feel the sun sort of pouring down on you in a sort of a radiant way. And suddenly, where one moment you were just fuming about the cloud, and now you're suddenly captivated by this interconnection of everything and how you can feel and sense everything. And in a moment, you're going to also feel yourself begin to just start to shimmer a little bit. Like, on Star Trek where they do the transporter, you're going to just start to shimmer a little. Just kind of dissolving into this ground and this air and this breeze and the sun. You're just standing there up on the vista, and maybe your arms are kind of outstretched or your hands are kind of out. And you're noticing that this cloud is just drifting away. It's the wisps are just falling away from each other. They're just dispersing. And there waiting for you is whatever answer you sought or were seeking, and maybe you can see it now, or maybe you're going to see it next time you return to this meditation or think about it. I would love for you to just notice what you're noticing right now as these clouds move away. And there's this something, for each of you it's different, this something. But mostly I want you to notice this expanded state, this dissolved state of oneness with everything, and how when you entered into that state, all clouds, all so-called blockages, everything just dispersed and became open to you. And I would like to suggest to you that this is how consciousness is. We just simply decide to connect with everything, and in an instant, we are taken or transformed or become one with this altered state. Just hang out there for a minute and feel how good it feels. Just becoming conscious of everything all at once. And you're also going to notice what's not in your awareness as you become aware of everything is all the mind chatter and all the looping thoughts and all the anxieties and all the distractions. They don't match up with this state of expansion. They don't exist. They're like the clouds, and the clutter just blows away. And just remind yourself that you can return to this state at any time. You can do this meditation on your own. It's so simple to do. And just allow yourself to feel that connection and that consciousness of everything all at once. And with that, we're going to come back to this reality. And we are going to go to the phones and see what's happening there. Let's go first to April, calling from Los Angeles. April, welcome.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What can I help you out with today?
I was meditating on my question, which is about finding our purpose, using our gifts and talents to be of service to the world. And I feel like after that meditation, my question to you is, the more I dig, the harder it seems to pinpoint what my role is, because that's my left brain. But when, after the meditation, what came to me was that when in flow, it would be something that I kind of step into, is what I gather. Like, it doesn't have to be clear now or known, and I'm not sure if I'm getting that right, but that is my question, like, to be of service so that when I leave this place one day, when I'm whenever that is, I would be empty of those gifts being of service.
That's an interesting idea of becoming empty, using your time to become empty. Let me speak to the first part. I think that's absolutely correct, that instead of digging to find, this is the perfect way for April to empty herself of her gifts, I'd almost look this image of Santa. I don't even know what I think about Santa anymore, but this image of Santa, with his big bag going from house to house, delivering, just next stop, okay, gifts delivered. Next stop, all through the night, just unloading the bag. And it feels like instead of digging, if you just started doing what's in front of you,
right,
then the universe would, okay, we'll get rid of all the gifts here, and then we'll take April to her next Santa house.
Right.
I guess I don't know.
The way I see it, it's like living fully in the moment, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I mean by becoming empty. Like you live so fully in the day that
Mm-hmm.
when you rest your head on your pillow, you're like, oh, that was a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of radio, and I just did an interview, and it was really interesting because the person asked me, like, how do I do all the different things I do? And it was such an interesting question because my answer was, like, I have no idea. I just really, it was just every day, because I've been doing this a long time. I just did what was in front of me. I didn't worry particularly about like how it was all going to add up or what it would be in the end. It was just like, oh, I've got this thing, do that. And then the next day, oh, this is being placed in front of me. It was just more like being always available to whatever the universe called me to do, even if it didn't seem to fit the quote big picture. So I think that's kind of what's your starting point? What are you called to do, like right now, like this week? What's the place of doing that you find yourself in?
This week I followed my intuition and actually gave myself the gift of buying a used car that I've always wanted. And so, and my main point was to be in the moment, and if I felt joy and lightness, then I follow that. And if it felt heavy or not, not aligned with me, then I say no to it. And it felt joyful when I test drove it. So I said yes to that. So it's being present in my body and saying yes to what feels good is my purpose this week.
Well, yeah. And now you have transportation, so the universe can say, okay, April, we want you to do this, and by the way, you'll need to drive your car there. Which is so that really has opened up, a lot of things.
Yeah. It was saying yes to me is what was the key point this week, instead of like the shoulds and save money and do this for the kids or the home and it was if I could do what I wanted to do, what would that be? And that's what led me.
Yeah, I think the ideas of I think the idea of being in service is a good idea, but I also think, like say you were a famous, I'm not really suggesting this for you, but say you were a famous painter, and you were like Jackson Pollock, you just needed to paint these, vast creations. And I don't know that you'd say that particular painter was in service. However, did that particular painter make the world better? Yes, because of the vision. So I think maybe also don't get too hung up on the idea of being in service. I would feel like it's more about your gifts. They might be more creative rather than healing based and so just allowing the full emptying out of your talents as opposed to this particular way that we have to help. Because there's lots of ways there you can help being the saint-like person, or you can help being the art-like person, and they're both super needed, or the political person, or whatever it is. So,
and right now I'm taking your 20-day course to opening up our psychic abilities, So I've been doing that every day, and I'm on my third course, I think my third class.
Oh,
so I'm
excellent.
enjoying that immensely.
Yeah, and get signed up for the free class if you haven't already, the Seeker's Guide, and that, because that is going to be it's my biggest work that I've got, and so we're going to start that in a week or so. So get signed up for that. It's just right on the website. April, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you. Yeah, April has a good idea about just moving in flow and allowing guidance to come, and being aware of the feelings of lightness versus the feelings of heaviness. A good way to approach things. Let us go to the phones, and I believe it's Iset. I'm not quite sure I'm saying that right, from New Jersey. Welcome to the program. Hi, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, tell me how to say your name so I can get that right.
Hi, my name is Iset.
Iset, okay, great, very good.
Yes. How are you, Sarah?
Fine, thank you. What can I help you out? What can I help you out with today?
I have been very happily enjoying your podcast for a long time, and I have great respect for your intuitiveness, and also your grateful for what you do for the community. I would just like a quick intuitive reading on my general auric and etheric fields. To see if you have any suggestions and what do you see. I would be curious to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I would not say that the wording, I mean, absolutely, I work in the ideas of the energy or the etheric realm, but I'm not like an aura reader per se. However, I'll just give you my impression is that yes, my impression is that there's a sense of great calm on the surface, but there are some things that are more worrisome to you that you keep turning over, and you're not quite sure what to do about those. And it feels like it's a little bit about some relationships or some limitations or restrictions on how you're allowed to be, and how others would be comfortable with you being. You have the ability to be much more free, I guess, and that isn't something that you're able to do. Yeah, you're not letting yourself do that because other people won't be super happy with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I would just ask yourself the question, is the idea that why can't you be free? I mean, certainly you're a very very conscious being. You've done a lot of your inner work, your spiritual work. And so now why couldn't you just be free? Why not? And that is the question. Instead of worrying about fighting against the restraints, what if you just decided, I'm going to be free in my life from now on, and we'll see what happens from there. And that's what I would suggest to you.
In particular, it is just one person. Actually, she's my daughter-in-law, who has sort of blocked off her heart towards me because she was uncomfortable for some reason of her own. I can empathize with her due to no fault of mine or anything, but just for the nature of our beings. And I'm very happy that you picked up on the discomfort there. So other than that, I have no problems or issues with anyone in the world. I have a host of friends, wonderful people around me. And So I do that are always on my mind that it could have been a very much more beautiful life for the sake of my son and my grandson. She could open up her heart and receive my love and goodness and believe in it and let her heart be warmed by it in the giving as well as the receiving. But I don't, watching it is hard because she has formed a blocker on a hard heart wall around it. So. Otherwise, she's a wonderful human being.
Yeah. I think that relationships change over time quite drastically.
Suggestions from you would be welcome.
So,
how to approach this or how to...
Yeah. I would love for you to get my course. It's not expensive. It's only $10, but on my website, I have a course called Heal Your Love and Relationship Karma. And I think that will give you some keys to work on this in terms of working.
I did it last year. I believe I did it last year.
Okay. So you're going to, I think is that you're breaking up, so we're going to have to let you go, but do that course again now. Go back to it, work on that again. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate your time. We're going to take, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. You've been listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. If you're looking for this free 11-week course, go there. And if you're looking for my new book, go there too. Now to the now, to the now. Now to the now, to the now. Now to the now, to the now. Now to the now, to the now.
Are you an empath, intuitive, sensitive, or seeker who wants to learn more? Do you long to master the secrets of spiritual intuition for personal or professional growth? Would you like to work directly with Sara? Sign up now for Intuition University, Sara's year-long program in spiritual intuition, where you'll study with a supportive group of kindred souls, just like you. Classes start every semester. Learn how you can become a student of Intuition University at sarawiseman.com.
Organic, free range, and fresh daily. Alternative Talk 1150.
Jesus, Muhammad, great Buddha said, look to the now or you mess up your head.
Now to the now, to the now. Now to the now, to the now. Alrighty, we are back with more Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman, talking about when will we become conscious in this lifetime, and the answer is, of course, any minute you want. That's when. Let's go to the phones. We've got the very, very patient Crystal from Pennsylvania waiting. Crystal, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, very good. Thanks so much for your patience. What's on your mind today?
No. I just wanted to know if you what you see in the future of myself and my boyfriend. He and I are very compatible in all areas except timeliness. I'm a stickler for time, and he's all over the place. So
are you saying kindliness or timeliness? I can't.
Timeliness, like punctuality.
Oh, punctuality. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that causes some stress on my part. And meanwhile, he's happy-go-lucky, and I'm like, oh my God, you're late again. But he's a wonderful being. He's generous, and we really, really get along. And I just want to know, do you see what kind of future do you see for us with being as though we have that one convention?
So what lesson do you think you learn? I'm not saying that being tardy is correct, but what lesson does he put you through every time he's late? What do you go through? I mean, I imagine it's rage, and then, what's the process that you go through? What's the soul lesson that you learn every time it happens?
He reminds me of my mother. I feel extreme anxiety. It actually especially triggers issues for me. So it triggers like abandonment and you forgot about me and I'm not important. So it's been making me delve into those issues because I know that they need to be resolved. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, separate from my own issues that need to be resolved, what does that mean for him to me? Like, I know my mom, why she's always late, but I don't understand what reflection that is upon me. I feel like it's a reflection upon me. I'm like, do you want to be with me or not? Because you're like always late.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't look at it quite how you're looking at it. I would sort of let go of the idea that there's something wrong with him or there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with your mom in terms of this whole thing. I think the way that I would suggest you look at it is the universe puts these karmic crossings, these souls that we have karma with together, you and your boyfriend, so that we learn soul lessons together. So one of these really big soul lessons is that you're learning is the same pattern of soul lesson that you were learning with your mom. So obviously the abandonment, the anxiety, the need to control, the unknown, that's what's really coming up. So I would just let go of the blame for a while and just start to notice and maybe even work with somebody, on the abandonment especially. Just sort of work on all that nitty-gritty older stuff and take your boyfriend out of the equation and just like work with how you felt when you were little and nobody was there, those kinds of things. Right. I think that question is really what's being called to look at more than, are we going to make it? Is this relationship going to work? It's like the gift is, oh, this person's triggering all my abandonment. Okay, I guess it's time to work on that. Yeah. Because
I agree with you on that. I was hoping that you were going to say something else, so I wouldn't have to work on this stuff. I wanted you to say, "Oh no, honey, it's all him."
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying it's not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not him. There's a deep lack of respect, but I think working on your part is what you're being asked to do. Because, for example, if I know that my daughter's waiting downtown at her job, in the evening, I am right on the button to pick her up. But if I know my daughter's waiting at a friend's house where like it doesn't matter, I might be a half hour late. It's dependent on the situation. Yeah. So
I'm a stickler for time no matter what it is, and I think that's the issue with my mom being late all the time and forgetting me. It made me like hyper vigilant to time. Everything is treated serious.
Yeah. We're not. I think the other thing is it's bringing up a lot of this idea about who's in control of the relationship. Is it you, or is it him? And I think. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a passive-aggressive way he continually controls, and that's another thing to look at. It'd be great to work with a counselor on this particular kind of stuff because counseling is really effective with this style of looking into the past wounds, I think, for you. So, well, good luck. I think it's going to be an interesting couple months as you move through all this soul lesson learning. It's going to be very interesting.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Thanks for your patience, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, we do have time for a few more free readings Tuesday. If the lines are open, anybody wants to call in right now, you will get through. It's 888-298-5569. 888-298-5569 for free readings Tuesday. You're listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. Wanted to talk a little bit more about this idea of consciousness. So again, call in right now for free readings Tuesday, 888-298-5569. Lines are open, so if you call in right now, you'll get in, and don't wait too long because we'll be wrapping up. Sometimes people call in right at the end, and then the show has to end, and we don't have room, but let's look at this idea of consciousness. Consciousness means basically we are aware of our connection to each other and to everything as a soul. So if we take the look at soul as our higher level consciousness, and then we take the look at the idea that everyone not only has a soul but is a soul first, and everything has this level of awareness, even if it's not something living, even if it's like, your water bottle or your pen or whatever it is. Every single thing here on this planet, in this universe, is made up of this same particulate energy. Some people call it God, some people call it nowness, some people call it awareness. Sometimes I just call it the hum of consciousness. We try and lock into the hum. And so when you look at this idea that you are not only connected to everything, but that everything is connected to you, and this is something that is happening all the time. There is no way we can separate out from this. We think, oh, I'll just turn off my social media, I'll be escape from the world, or I'll go live out in the country and I'll escape from the world, or I'll shut my door and no one can, I can be separate. Or maybe we take these political positions. I'm going to be in this team or this group or this cult or this business or whatever, and I'm going to be separate. I'm going to create my identity all the way here, and everything over there is going to be separate and different. Okay, there's no separation. It's all connected, and there is no way to there's no escape from our oneness. There's no escape. So when you start to have that understanding, this is when consciousness starts to spark in you. This is when consciousness starts to spark. You become aware of this absolute connectivity, this interconnection, this way of being one with everything all the time. Looks like we have a call from Mary, calling from Redmond. Mary, welcome to the program.
Hi there.
Mary, are you there? Hi, welcome. What can I help you out with today?
I'm just finishing up going to the car wash. Sorry, 1 second. I'll tell you.
Huh? Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you for your patience. I just wanted to check in with you. I have had some issues with my bladder, and I have been digging around in my sacral chakra, trying to figure out who I'm mad at and what's going on with that. But I thought I would check with you to see if you get anything on my health and on my mental state that might be playing into each other.
Well, sometimes it's a little bit breaking up too, so I'm not sure I got everything that you said, but my general impression is this idea that there's a lot of, I'm not sure it's exactly blaming, but looking for like where the culprit is or where the problem is. And I would love for you to take it out into a much bigger field and just look with compassion at your own experience as a human being, and look with compassion at everybody else's experience. And it doesn't all have to be perfect for it to be really wonderful. And it doesn't even have to be wonderful for it to be really meaningful. And so kind of letting go of this idea that it has to be a particular way might be useful to you right now. And just looking at like, oh, this lifetime, what the heck? and then concentrating on the pieces that, just again, going into that. I don't know if you were listening at the beginning where we sort of dissolved into everything, but just a little bit of dissolving into everything really shifts how you feel about any particular situation. And that might be something for you right now to think about, that those two ideas about consciousness and then letting go of the idea that it needs to be a particular way. Does that make sense to you?
It's definitely food fodder. I just have to. This just took me by surprise, and I'm trying to do the work, and I've focused in on a few things, but I'm just wondering if it's deeper than that, or if I'm ignoring something important.
I think you're being kind of hard on yourself. You know, doing the work is this process over time. Some days are going to be fine. Some days are going to be really more tricky emotionally. I would just trust that doing the work is working, and just trusting that you're moving through a particularly more emotional time. You know, also, all of this stuff going on in the world, like, I don't know if you follow astrology, but we're in like one of the biggest shifts in 84 years right now. And like even the volcanoes in Hawaii erupting, this is all part of this giant shift. And most people are, especially like right these last few weeks and going forward, it's been a rough time for people. So also kind of throw that into the mix, that the planetary forces are not super easy right now for anybody. So, Mary, I'm going to let you go because I've got one more caller I need to take. But just be gentle on yourself.
Thank you.
It's okay. Just be gentle. Yeah, be gentle. Very good. Well, let us go to Shelley calling from Seattle. Hi, Shelley. Welcome.
Hi. Good afternoon to you. I've been listening to your show. It's just wonderful. It's the first time I've listened. And I just thought I would just ask if my guides had anything to say to me.
Oh, yes. Well, the way that I like to work with guides, I'm not the type of intuitive that maybe if we were doing a reading, I might, but I prefer for you to know how to reach your guides by yourself. Do you know a technique for doing that instantly? Do you know how to do that?
Well, whenever I do want a connection, I just sit very quietly and just ask, does anybody have anything to say to me? For all those that are out there, you know, my crew, whomever is out there, you know, whatever words I choose to use. And if I can settle down, I can get something. But I haven't been feeling well. And so I think some of this that I'm feeling is what's happening energetically. I don't think that I'm actually sick. I think that and that's what I wanted before, you know, you start taking things and blah, blah, blah. I feel that this is all energy that's coursing through me that no longer serves, and it's trying to find its way out.
Right. Well, so let's take this for two parts. One, I'd love for you to I have a course. It's just $10 on my website, sarawiseman.com. It's called Be a Divine Conduit for Your Guides and Angels. And that will teach you this incredibly simple process for immediately being able to connect with your guides and communicate with them really clearly. So it's almost like a shortcut as to how the guides communicate and how. So check that out. That'll really blast things open for you. And then the other, what is your sun sign? When's your birthday?
December the 13th.
Is that Sagittarius?
It's Sagittarius, yeah. That's my
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I know that unfortunately I don't know too much about that particular sign, but I know that with this Uranus going into Taurus again, that first time in 84 years, which you might, it's intense. It's an intense little patch of time that we're in, and people are feeling ungrounded or overly grounded, like they need to take a nap. It's just a very, very dense time. So of course you want to, go to your practitioner, doctor, just always we need to do that. But this way of feeling like you need to take a nap or nothing's working or all that's pretty par for the course these last few weeks. And I think once we get to May 15th, which is when all this, the move happens from Aries into Taurus, I think we're going to be better. Or not, but it's definitely going to be a big shift.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, Shelley, thank you for calling in. Check out that course because I think it's going to really open up. It's not a difficult course, and it's very inexpensive, and I think it's going to be this amazing key for you. It's like, oh, I know how to do that now. Wow, that's like a whole new lease on life there with that information. So try that out.
I will. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you. Well, guys, I want to remind you that you want to get your free 11-week online course. Go to sarawiseman.com. It's a study guide to my new book, Messages from the Divine. And I wanted to read a little bit to you from that book now. So this book, someone described it, it's a course in a book, and I had never thought of it that way. I consider this a spiritual guidebook. But it's 66 lessons, it's 66 exercises, it is a new spiritual thought system. It's just coming out. You can pre-order it right now. It comes out next week on that May 15th, right when Uranus makes its move into Taurus, which is so funny. But just here, let me just tell you a little bit about it. Here's the lesson. If you're not blissed out, you're not paying attention. The mind will tell you one thing or the other, what you don't have, what you think you need, why this isn't good, why that isn't enough. In reality, this feast of life is only bliss, nirvana, the shuddering of pure grace. It is ecstasy to become aware of this life, this nectar of the sky, the winds, the air, this ecstasy of the earth, the plants, the stones, this grand expanse of earth, all of it and all it contains, created by light for your immersion and your enjoyment, created by light so you, as light, can be here and feel it. So you can feel it all with your bare feet on the ground and your lungs gasping in that sweet air, your arms outstretched to become one with the trees, the birds singing in your ears. And this is just one moment. The next moment, the rub of you and all humanity on a bus, on a subway, all those hearts beating, all that awareness, the continuous pounding of one soul in a space together, everyone feeling and knowing what everyone feels and knows. Don't pretend you can't feel it. Don't pretend you don't know. You're one of one. You're as one of one as anyone. Separation is myth. It's myth and myth alone. Oneness is 24/7 together. This is what oneness is. Pure bliss. This ecstasy of one soul, collective soul. And there is more. The taste of a papaya, an apple. Who could imagine these things? The feeling of skin on skin in affection, in healing, in sex, the entire nervous system attuned to everything. When a sudden rain arrives and washes you clean, this is the true baptism, the very sky opening up and pouring down upon you liquid grace. If you aren't feeling this, why not? And that's one of the lessons in my new book, Messages from the Divine. It's called If You're Not Blissed Out, You're Not Paying Attention. And this is this idea of becoming conscious in this lifetime, this idea of just deciding to allow yourself to tune into awareness. You just simply decide, I'm not going to be all numbed out. I'm not going to be distracted. I'm going to just feel everything. I'm going to feel all of nature and all of the urban situation, and I'm going to feel all my emotions, and I'm going to just be fully present. And when you start to do that, when you start to live from this state of consciousness, again, this idea that everything changes. You're no longer locked into this paradigm that society says, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. And this is the only way. And you're going to screw up if you don't, blah, blah. Who needs that? There's another way to live. There's another way to live. So if you want to dive into this work more, this new book, Messages from the Divine, is available on pre-order. You can go, East West Books has it. You can go to ask any other bookshop around. Go on Amazon, go to my website, sarawiseman.com. You can order it there. And also be sure to sign up for that free 11-week Seeker's Guide, which is an online course. And we're going to start that not next week, but the week after. So I'm trying to get everybody all signed up so we can all do this together. And of course, on this show, we're going to continue. We're going to continue to talk about all these messages and all these lessons and what the heck we're doing here, as souls in human bodies. What's that experience supposed to be? This whole paradigm of what we read in our news feeds, all the fear-based stuff, all the politics stuff, and then, of course, the other layer, all the stuff that we have going on, the conflicts and stuff with family or friends, or this past wound or that past wound. Really, we can just let all that stuff go. Essentially, all of that stuff is either just distraction. It's honestly not worthy of our attention, or it is calling us to look at the particular soul lessons we're here to learn. I think we had the caller before who talked about being time sensitive. Obviously, if you're facing something like that, the key is, first, yes, you look at it as the other person being disrespectful, but the key is to bring it back to you, like, what am I being asked to learn from this sort of irritant or conflict or little pebble in my shoe of life? What am I being asked to learn from this? And that is always the question. It doesn't mean it's always your fault. Often it's not at all, but it's always the question of, what is the universe bringing to me? Everybody, I want to remind you, I am going to be at East West Books in Seattle on May 18th and 19th. I'm going to do a free lecture and mini concert on Friday. And on Saturday, I'm doing an intuition workshop. You do need to reserve your space. That's out in the Roosevelt area for you guys out there. You do need to reserve your space. Go to my website, sarawiseman.com. Go to East West Books. I think it's .com, and you'll find a way to reserve your space there, or just call the bookshop. Hey, everybody. I am so happy to be with you today, and I am so looking forward to next time. Next time, we're going to kind of dive into this idea of soul lessons. How quickly can we learn soul lessons? Looking forward to being with you then. You've been listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman.
Want more of Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman? Tune in weekly for more divine teachings on living a soul-led life. Want Sara's books, courses, and free gifts? Visit sarawiseman.com.
Are you a seeker on the path of soul growth? Did you know that Sara Wiseman's new book, Messages from the Divine, Wisdom for the Seeker's Soul, comes with the free Seeker's Guide? This 11-week online course helps you dive deep into the teachings of Sara's new book, and it's Sara's gift to you. Get Messages from the Divine and your free Seeker's Guide now at sarawiseman.com.
Ready to learn the secrets of spiritual intuition? Did you know that Sara Wiseman offers over 20 courses in psychic development, soul growth, karma, healing, past lives, and more? And that they're all sliding scale, pay what you want? These premium online courses are self-study, so you can work on your own schedule. Sign up for Sara's courses now at sarawiseman.com. That's SARA Wiseman.com.